there's a lot of antiviral, especially on our part, kasi yung iba hindi available sa Philippines. But since our reference is Katsung, so we have to, in a way, be familiarized with the other antiviral agent. So I divided the topics into 5 para medyo may konti tayong break. But I think in the Katsung, dire-diretso to. Chapter, I think 49 page ata to. So I'll try to summarize so as much as possible. Okay, so first, these are the agents to treat HSV and varicella zoster virus. So here are okay. So these are the major sites of the antiviral drug. In introduction also for the virus. So it's for the management of viruses. So it's a different approach sa mga antibacterial and antifungal. Kasi most of the viral infections are self-limiting. And seldom the treatment will parang cure the virus, but rather suppress lang or in a way lessen the complications. So unlike your antibacterial and antifungal, so sila mismo, it usually direct the microorganisms. So for antiviral, so may mga konting antivirus that they will have a direct direct killing in order to cure the infection. But more or less, so they're considered treatment because some of them can prevent complications. So for this diagram, ayun, okay. So this one, so treatment for herpes and varicella are your acyclovirs. So they are blocked by NRTI, so nucleic acid synthesis. Okay, so first, acyclovir. Sino na nakapag-take ng acyclovir? So for chickenpox, herpes. So acyclovir, so this is the prototypic drug for the herpes virus. So this pathway is blocked by your acyclovir. So they require 3 phosphorylation steps for activation to the monophosphate derivative by the virus-specified thymidine kinase and then to the di-triphosphate compound. So acyclovir triphosphates inhibit viral DNA synthesis by 2 mechanisms. So first is the direct competition of your deoxy-GTP for the viral DNA polymerase and chain termination following the incorporation into the viral DNA. Okay, so acyclovir, the oral form, has a low bioavailability, but this is unaffected by food. Okay, so other forms are your IV acyclovir, and we have the topical acyclovir. And acyclovir diffuses readily into the most tissues and body fluids. So for the viral coverage, so usually herpes virus 1, 2, and then we have your VZV also. So since it's active against HSV1, HSV2, and VZV, so any infections caused by this viral etiology, we can use acyclovir. So genital herpes, recurrent genital herpes, oral labial herpes, and varicella treatment for more than 2 years, and even for zoster treatment. However, VZV is less susceptible to acyclovir than HSV. That's why if you're taking, if you have chickenpox, so kasi that's the causative agents of varicella, of the VZV, so you have to take it to a higher dose. Okay, for IV acyclovir, so same, but the indications, so syempre pag mag-IV na tayo, it means that we're dealing with severe infections, so HSV, mucocutaneous, herpes encephalitis. So this is the one treatment for HSV encephalitis in IV form kasi we have to penetrate your CSF. And then, for zoster and varicella, if we are dealing with an immunocompromised host. For topical, so yung herpes labialis, so it can be dealt with the topical form. Okay, side effects. So acyclovir is well tolerated, but it can cause headache, nausea, diarrhea in some cases. Okay, so this is very important. So the oral versus IV. For the IV form, so we are very careful because the IV form can cause crystalline nephropathy. So the forms of there, it will crystallize to the tubules that thus can cause crystalline nephropathy or interstitial nephritis. And some, it can cause also neurologic effects such as tremors, delirium, and seizure. But especially for the renal part, so this is reversible. And this can be ameliorated by giving IV hydration para hindi mag-crystallize yung tubules sa, hindi mag-crystallize yung acyclovir sa tubules. Hence, preventing your crystalline nephropathy. And of course, concurrent use of nephrotoxic agent may enhance nephrotoxicity. So what are your examples of nephrotoxic beta-lactams? Or nephrotoxic antibiotics? I think we discussed that, yung TB, tsaka yung beta-lactam. So the aminoglycosides, di ba? Aminoglycosides, so nephrotoxic and ototoxic, and of course vancomycin. Okay, let's go with valacyclovir. So same coverage, antiviral coverage, but this one, rapidly converted, it's an L-valine ester of acyclovir. So rapidly converted to acyclovir after oral administration via first pass enzymatic hydrolysis. So, di ba poor ang bioavailability ng acyclovir, but this one, medyo mas mataas siya. It's around 54 to 70%, and CSF levels are about 50% of those in serum. So, as mentioned, same viral coverage, but it is approximately 10 times more potent against HSV1, HSV2, and and VZV. So, if you can see also, the clinical indications are just the same with your acyclovir. But the thing with acyclovir is, number one, so it can cause shorter duration, especially those with herpes zoster. So, those who experience post-herpetic neuralgia. And actually, valacyclovir is more of the first line now rather than the acyclovir. So, same adverse reaction also with acyclovir. At high doses, it could cause confusion, hallucination, and seizures. Okay, famciclovir, this is a diethyl ester prodrug of 6-deoxypencyclovir. So after oral administration, so famciclovir is rapidly deacetylated and oxidized by first pass metabolism to pencyclovir. So yung first two, the acyclovir and the valacyclovir, this is readily available here in the Philippines. So this is the most commonly used anti-herpetic medications. Okay, so for famciclovir, so almost same indication, kasi nga, di ba, we're talking about anti-herpetic drug, but introduction here of EBV, so it has a coverage with EBV, but EBV seldom or it doesn't have any significant clinical infection kasi aside from the infectious mononucleosis. And for infectious mononucleosis, it's still symptomatic. So for this one, so it's still classified anti-herpetic drug. So same, but highlighted here is that for famciclovir, so there's a particular toxicity that has been demonstrated if repeated, in receiving repeated doses among animals. And incidence of mammary adenocarcinoma. Pencyclovir, this is generally a newer drug, so guanosine analog pencyclovir, so used for recurrent herpes labialis. So, but adverse events are uncommon. Docosanol, this is a saturated 22 carbon aliphatic alcohol that inhibits fusion between the host cell plasma membrane and the HSV envelope, thereby preventing viral entry into the cell and subsequent viral replication. And as same as your penciclovir, so the indication here is recurrent oral labial herpes. Okay, so last is trifluridine. This one highlighted here. So the fluorinated pyrimidine nucleoside that inhibits viral DNA synthesis in HSV1, HSV2, CMV. So incorporation of trifluridine triphosphate into both viral and DNA prevents its systemic use. So for this one, the application of the clinical indication is biotopical. So 1% solution is effective in the treatment of keratoconjunctivitis and recurrent epithelial keratitis due to HSV1 and HSV2. Okay, so this summarizes everything. So concentrate on the acyclovir versus the valacyclovir, as you can see here. So if we're talking about genital herpes, parang bibigay siya 5 times daily. But in comparison with your valacyclovir, that could be given twice a day. So because of the higher oral bioavailability of your valacyclovir versus the acyclovir. Okay, yes, and you can see also here, so concentrate dun sa oral labial herpes. So the dosing, so 400 TID or 200 5 times daily. Pero if you're going to use, so for oral labial yan, di ba? 400. But for zoster, so acyclovir is times 2. So bibigay mo ng 800. So because it's less potent yung acyclovir than the HSV than the VZV. That's why if we're treating with varicella zoster infection, so the dose is higher compared with your herpes. Okay, so as mentioned, so if severe, like severe HSV infection, so we'll give acyclovir IV. Same true with herpes encephalitis, so it's in IV form. Okay, so for zoster, so just the same, and then later on, foscarnet will be introduced in the CMV. So again, so for severe infections or VZV infection in immunocompromised hosts, so you have to give acyclovir IV. Okay, so that's the end of the first slide. First PowerPoint. Next topic. Yes, Doc. Okay, so for herpes, Doc, so I think it's okay, but ideally it should be given as soon as possible. So especially for chickenpox and varicella zoster, so that should be given within 48 hours so of treatment.
Kasi lalo na pag summer, common talaga yung chickenpox. So sigurado makaka-encounter sila. What about yung mga immunomodulator like immunosin, would you recommend? Kasi acyclovir is very costly, di ba? Yung treatment would cost you around 3,000 for the acyclovir treatment. Any comment on the use of immunosin?
For the immunosin, it's more of ano siya, no? Supplement, no?
Supplement.
So yun nga, as mentioned also, there are viral infections that are self-limiting. So, for example, chickenpox. So, the value of your acyclovir is usually to lessen the duration. So, lessen the duration of the illness. So if you don't want to take any medications, so yan nga, the acyclovir kasi is expensive. So supplements, well, it could help lang to boost the immune system. But studies have shown na wala silang effect in terms of the duration of the treatment. If the duration of the illness, rather.
I've seen patient pag acyclovir parang in 24, 48 hours, kung ano yung nakita ko lesion, hindi na magpo-progress. As long as you give it early. Kaya, and then, pag immunosin, parang support lang.
Support.
But then, this is a viral infection. Antibiotics are not indicated.
Yes, antibiotics are not. So iba yung antibiotic sa antiviral, okay?
So please take note in clinical practice. Okay? So make sure you know the diagnosis. Okay, thank you, Doc. For any question, just raise lang your hand.
Okay, so let's move on to agents that treat CMV infection. So basically lahat to for CMV. Although, anong family ang CMV? So it's still part of the herpes family, okay? So kaya may mga mag-overlap dyan with regards to the viral coverage. Okay, so now let's go first. So this is the first slide for severe CMV infection. So ganciclovir. Okay, so ganciclovir, so like your acyclovir, it has almost the same mechanism of action. But this one is an acyclic guanosine derivative. So requires activation by triphosphorylation before inhibiting the viral DNA polymerase. So the initial phosphorylation is catalyzed by the virus-specified protein kinase phosphotransferase UL97 in CMV infected cells. By the way, what's this histopathologic features? So this is an ALS-I. Okay, so ganciclovir, unlike your acyclovir yung una, oral IV, but ganciclovir is IV only. So oral bioavailability is poor, that's why it's no longer available. So there are some topical in the form of gel that can be used for treatment of acute herpetic keratitis. CSF concentrations are approximately 50% of serum concentration. The half-life is around 4 hours, and intracellular half-life is prolonged at around 24 hours, so 16 to 24 hours to be exact. So the clearance of the drug is linearly related to creatinine clearance, hence this is readily cleared by hemodialysis. So yan, as mentioned, there are some viral coverage aside from CMV, yan, mga HSV, BZV. So, but basically, if you could see the clinical indication, so mostly sa CMV siya. So pag ganciclovir, so yun, laging isipin nyo na is CMV and in the form of this infection. So retinitis, colitis, esophagitis, pneumonitis. So sometimes, although we don't have Foscarnet, so dual therapy with Foscarnet is more effective in delaying progression of retinitis than either drug alone. So usually we can combine them so to delay the progression. So aside from the gel, so we have an intravitreal injections also for ganciclovir, and of course this is used to treat CMV retinitis. Okay, so what's the problem or side effects of ganciclovir? So, myelosuppression, most common adverse effect of intravenous ganciclovir. But this is reversible, maybe dose limiting. That's why if we are giving this one, so we monitor the CBC, especially the WBC and platelet, because it could cause myelosuppression. So other potential side effects, again, so makikita pa rin doon sa acyclovir, nausea, diarrhea, headache. And for the intravitreal ganciclovir, so we have to be cautious because it can cause vitreal hemorrhage or retinal detachment. So for drug interaction, so levels of ganciclovir may rise in patients concurrently taking probenecid or trimethoprim. So, ano yung trimethoprim? So this is an antibiotic. So, especially if combined with your sulfamethoxazole, so yung Cotri. And concurrent use of ganciclovir with didanosine. So later on, didanosine is one of the ARVs. Okay, since ganciclovir doesn't have any oral form, so this is purely IV, the oral counterpart is valganciclovir. So it's an L-valine ester prodrug of ganciclovir that exists as a mixture of two diastereomers. So after oral administration, so both diastereomers are rapidly hydrolyzed to ganciclovir by esterase in the intestinal wall and the liver. So it has a good oral bioavailability, roughly around 60%, but this is recommended to be taken with food. Okay? So the route of elimination is in the kidneys. So that's why there's also a dose adjustment here. So for valganciclovir, so since this is oral, so it could be used for CMV retinitis. And sometimes if we don't have, now the ganciclovir is spaced out locally. So we're having a problem, especially for severe CMV. So that's why we resort to oral valgan. Kaso walang mabigay. Okay, so but basically the indication for valganciclovir is CMV retinitis. And for those with those transplant patients, so solid organ, kidney transplant, so CMV is at high reactivation. So this can be used as prophylaxis. So indicated for prevention of CMV disease in high-risk solid organ and bone marrow transplant recipients. So the adverse effects, drug interactions, and resistance patterns are the same with ganciclovir. Okay, so since there are a lot of side effects, especially myelosuppression. So of course, if we can't use that, so these are the alternatives. So first is Foscarnet. So Foscarnet, this is an inorganic pyrophosphate, so inhibit herpes viridae DNA polymerase, RNA polymerase, and HIV reverse transcriptase directly without requiring activation by phosphorylation. Thus, Foscarnet blocks the pyrophosphate binding site of this enzyme and inhibits cleavage of pyrophosphate from deoxynucleotide triphosphate. Okay, so Foscarnet, so it can reach CSF concentration at around 43 to 67%. So same with your ganciclovir, clearance is primarily renal, and this is directly proportional to the creatinine clearance. So there should be a dose adjustment for patients with acute kidney failure or those patients undergoing hemodialysis. So antiviral viral coverage. So the viral coverage is same with ganciclovir valgan, but there's an additional there, HIV-1 and HIV-2. So as you can recall, so there's a mention of HIV, but this is not used for HIV treatment. It's just it has a coverage, but it is not used for HIV treatment. So clinical indication, this is an alternative. So here, effective against acyclovir resistant HSV. So, di ba, meron siyang coverage for HSV. So, it's a part, still an antiherpetic drug and VZV infections. Also, effective in treatment of end-organ CMV disease, including those with resistance to ganciclovir. Okay? So, aside from CMV, it could be used for HSV and VZV. Okay, so the problem with Foscarnet is since it is renally cleared, so there should be a dose adjustment calculated by creatinine clearance. So it's important to use infusion pump so to control the rate of infusion to prevent toxicity. And large volume of fluids are required because of drug spore solubility. So as mentioned, if you will use this one, so here are some of the list of side effects. So renal impairment, so hypo and hypercalcemia, hypo and hyperphosphatemia, hypokalemia, hypomagnesemia. So medyo marami siyang effects renally. And saline preloading helps prevent nephrotoxicity as avoidance also of other drugs or nephrotoxic drugs should not be combined with Foscarnet. Okay? So, yun di ba, acyclovir also, the prehydration could prevent the nephrotoxicity. So, likewise also with your Foscarnet. Okay, some it can cause genital ulceration. This is due to high level of ionized drug. And risk of anemia also if may be additive in patients concurrent with zidovudine. So later we'll discuss zidovudine, the ART. And like your some of your ganciclovir, it could cause also some CNS manifestations, hallucinations, seizure, and risk of seizure may be increased with concurrent use of imipenem. Okay, di ba yung carbapenem that has the highest risk of producing seizures. Okay, another alternative is cidofovir. So it acts both as a potent inhibitor of and as an alternative substrate for viral DNA polymerase. So it competitively inhibits DNA synthesis and becoming incorporated to the viral DNA chain. So likewise, like your Foscarnet, so this is eliminated renally, so you have to adjust the dose if patients having dialysis or acute kidney injury. Okay, so likewise also, viral coverage is the same and it could be used for treatment of CMV retinitis. So again, so it can also cause dose-dependent proximal tubular nephrotoxicity. So if you can see that trend, so yung tatlong drug, ganciclovir, Foscarnet, cidofovir, it could cause nephrotoxicity. That's why if may problems sa kidneys and having CMV infection, so medyo sakit sa ulo sa amin to because we have to coordinate with the kidney doctor, the nephrologist for this one. So, so rehydration also could augment the tubular nephrotoxicity and it could cause azotemia, metabolic acidosis, and Fanconi's syndrome. So, it should be administered with high dose probenecid. So ideally 2 grams at 3 hours before the infusion and 1 gram at 2 and 8 hours. So to block also the active tubular secretions and decrease nephrotoxicity. So again, so aside from giving prehydration, so high dose probenecid is beneficial for patients having cidofovir. And before each infusion, cidofovir dosage must be adjusted again based on the eGFR, the presence of urine protein, and aggressive hydration is required if given. Okay, another novel CMV drug is letermovir. This is the mechanism of action is a novel type, so it inhibits CMV DNA terminase complex required for DNA packaging and processing and thus replication. So this one, it has this is specific to CMV and currently the most active molecule against CMV. So with preserved activity against CMV isolates that are resistant to other antiviral agent. So therefore, this is indicated as a CMV prophylaxis in adult CMV seropositive recipients among HSCT patients or hematopoietic stem cells. So aside from the valganciclovir, so this can be given as part of their prophylaxis to prevent CMV reactivation. So this is available both in oral and IV formulation. So some of the experimental agents, so brincidofovir, so this is a nucleoside agent with activity against, aside from CMV, so may bago dito, so BK virus, Ebola, and Pox virus. Okay, so Ebola and Pox virus are some of the rising endemic agents. So brincidofovir could be a medication. So this is less nephrotoxic. However, the problem with this one is the GI tract toxicity. So this is the limitation for this medication. So as mentioned, this is under evaluation for smallpox and adenoviremia. And maribavir has a specific activity against CMV isolates via inhibition of the UL97 protein. But still, this drug is still experimental. Okay, this is the overview of medications used for CMV infections. So as a review, so for IV ganciclovir, so CMV retinitis, almost all the same, but this could be used also for esophagitis, pneumonitis, and colitis. So, but the valganciclovir can be used, and your letermovir can be used as a prophylaxis for transplant patient. So of course, pag prophylaxis siya, so it's lesser dosing, so once a day. So, but for the treatment, it's twice a day. So, but depending, usually it's around 21 days. Okay, so that ends the CMV treatment. So, are there any questions? Next, any more questions?
Doc, kasi di ba among pediatric patients with torch infection, though we rarely see torch infection now, what about patients with a viral infection, however, unconfirmed, not confirmed, but on signs and symptoms, parang
For
hindi
CMV,
siya.
no?
Would you still give o dapat confirmed talaga?
Depende. It depends, though. So, if you have the profile, and then it's not working among, for example, you have given already antibacterial, everything, and you're suspecting CMV. So, you can give, but you have to weigh the pros and cons. So, you have to weigh the risk versus the benefit. So, but for us, sa adult kasi do, yan, pag may mga ano kasi, usually we should confirm it by DNA, so viral, viral DNA blood test. So, but if we think that it's not working, so we can give. Pero most of the time, Doc, siguro by clinical practice, Doc, siguro mga 1 out of 10 pa lang yung binigyan ko na walang positive test. Kasi number one, it's una yung ganciclovir din kasi it's not available here. Then yung Valgan, so medyo expensive siya. So that's why we need to really have a positive test or I think any test that could give us a clue that we're dealing with a CMV infection.
Okay, so are there other questions pa? Yes.
Ano po ang major difference po sa treatment plan po with treating viral infections po in comparison to bacterial infections po? Like, mas matagal po ba kapag viral po or kapag wala na po bang symptoms, tutuloy pa rin po yung treatment like bacterials po?
So usually, it depends on the viral infection. So for example, later on, if we're dealing with flu, so usually 5 to 7 days of treatment for antiviral. So but for this one, for the severe type, like herpes encephalitis, it will take 21 days. CMV, colitis, retinitis, 21 days. And then later on with the HIV and the Hep B, so it could be a lifelong, so to suppress the virus.
So depending on the condition. Questions? Thank you, Doc.
Okay, so now let's go to anti-hepatitis agents. So, ilan ang types ng hepatitis? So, A, B, C, D, E. So, for this chapter, kung na-pre-read nyo na, so dalawa lang yung pinag-uusapan natin, B and C. So, because for all acute hepatitis, A, B, C, D, E, no treatment. Okay? So, so here we'll be dealing with more of the chronic, so Hep B and Hep C. Okay? So, for the goals of chronic hepatitis B, so this is one of the aspect that I'm telling you na it's not really to eradicate the virus, to cure the virus, but more or less, the chronic Hep B kasi, it's still there, like our HIV, but the goal is, one, is to suppress the HBV DNA to undetectable levels. So, medyo pinaganda lang niya yung term, undetectable. So, hindi siya madedetect when you do the test, but somehow the virus is still there. So, but undetectable levels means that in a way, it can still prevent some of the complications. Number two is to seroconvert your HBeAg from positive to negative. And last, reduction in elevated hepatic transaminases levels. Okay, so ito inuna ko na siya para hindi na kayo malito. So these are the agents that are used for chronic Hep B and Hep B. So dinivide na niya, the preferred and the non-preferred. Hindi ko alam ba't nilagay niya pa yung non-preferred. Pero anyway, so the preferred is the entecavir. Yan, entecavir, tenofovir, and pegylated interferon. So, non-preferred are the adefovir, lamivudine, and telvivudine. So, before kasi, the lamivudine is part of the treatment eh. So, ngayon medyo na-move down na siya to non-preferred because based on the studies, the entecavir, so the tenofovirs, and the pegylated are the most effective. So, for the pegylated interferon lang, so let's move on dun sa dosage. So you can see here, so this is injectable. So subcutaneously, once a week. Okay? Unlike this one, the oral form, so are given every day. And then, one of the potential adverse effects of your pegylated interferons is flu-like symptoms, mood disturbance, and some autoimmune disorders, especially the mood disturbance. So, later on also with the other antiviral like your Hep C. So, minsan they need site clearance prior to infusion of pegylated interferon kasi baka magkaroon ng effect sa kanila. Okay, so interferon alpha, so this induces intracellular signals following binding to specific cell membrane receptors, resulting in inhibition of viral penetration, translation, transcription, protein processing, maturation, and release, as well as increased host expression of major histocompatibility complex antigens enhanced by phagocytic activity of macrophages. Okay. So, if you will see here also, kasi di ba dun sa antiviral na mga CMV, herpes, there's a duration, di ba? So if you can see here, there's no duration. So because it depends on the clinical situation. Kaya for the duration of this meds, the antiviral, so it depends siya. Okay, so interferon alpha is filtered at the glomerulus and undergo rapid proteolytic degradation, duration, tubular absorption such that detection in the systemic circulation is negligible. So as mentioned, interferon alpha, so major adverse effects is a flu-like syndrome. So it can cause fever, chills, myalgia, and malaise that typically occurs 6 hours after the dosing. So this syndrome typically occurs more than 30% during the first week of therapy. However, so if there will be repeated na, kasi once weekly, so there will be a resolution or masasanay na yung body ng patient upon continued administration. Hence, it will not manifest anymore. So there are contraindications. So hindi siya yung parang first line. So if there's a decompensation already with the liver, so liver cirrhosis with decompensated liver cirrhosis ang tawag namin doon. So interferon alpha is not a good drug anymore. So as well as for autoimmune diseases. So caution is advised also if patient has psychiatric illnesses, epilepsy, thyroid disease, and ischemic cardiac disease. Okay, so the nucleotide analogs, so ito sila. So adefovir, entecavir, lami, telbi, and tenofovir. So yung preferred will be your entecavir and tenofovir. So they are a nucleotide analog. So for adefovir, it's an adenine nucleotide analog. Entecavir is a guanosine, lamivudine is a cytosine, telbivudine is a thymidine, and tenofovir is adenosine nucleotide analog. So first, adefovir, so one of the non-preferred. So it's not preferred. Mainly one is lower to suppress the HBV DNA levels at the least likely to induce the seroconversion. Although this is well related, this is dose-dependent can cause a dose-dependent nephrotoxicity and manifested by increased serum creatinine and decreased serum phosphorus. So the byproduct of this one is the pivalic acid. So this can esterify free carnitine and result in decreased carnitine levels. However, no need for supplementation if you will give adefovir. Okay, next, entecavir. So it has an oral bioavailability of 100%. But it is decreased by food, so it should be taken on an empty stomach. And as highlighted here, suppression of HBV DNA was greater. The levels was greater compared with lami and adefovir. That's why this is one of the preferred Hep B agent. So this is also well correlated. So there are some side effects. So headache, fatigue, dizziness, nausea, rash, and fever. So co-administration also of entecavir with drugs that reduce renal function or compete for active tubular secretion may increase serum concentrations of either entecavir or the co-administered drug. Next, lamivudine. This is also, lamivudine is also HIV reverse transcriptase. So later on, so you could see it's part of the HIV regimen. So aside from being an anti-Hep B, so it's also an anti-HIV. This is competing by the deoxycytidine triphosphate for incorporation into the viral DNA, resulting in chain termination. So competing with the deoxycytidine triphosphate for incorporation of the viral DNA, thus resulting in chain termination. So in the doses used for HBV, so it has an excellent safety profile. But however, it's part of the non-preferred. So Telvivodin, so this is the fourth one, another non-preferred. So this is is phosphorylated by cellular kinases to active triphosphate form, which has an intracellular half-life of 14 hours. The oral bioavailability is unaffected by food, unlike your entecavir that should be taken with food, an empty stomach. So telvivodin, so induce greater rates of virologic response in comparison with Lami and adefovir. Adverse effects are just mild: headache, fatigue, nausea, diarrhea, rash, and fever. Okay, and last is tenofovir. So this maintains an activity against Lami and entecavir-resistant hepatitis virus isolate, but has reduced activity against adefovir-resistant strain. Okay? Highlighted here, it shows a higher rate of virologic response and histologic improvement, and a lower rate of emergence of resistance to tenofovir in patients with chronic HBV infection. So that's why it's one of the preferred anti-hepatitis B. Okay, let's move on to Hep C. For Hep C, so one lang yung primary goal, and that is the viral eradication. Okay? And the unique thing in managing HCV is that this is genotypic, genotypic reliant treatment. So meaning it's important to know the HCV genotype. So because some of the antiviral for HCV, so there's a specific treatment for it. Okay, so for hepatitis C, so the treatment of patients with chronic HCV infection is recommended or those with an increased risk of progression to cirrhosis, so like the hepatitis B infection. Okay, the traditional treatment is the pegylated interferon alpha to be combined with daily ribavirin, so active against all genotype of HCV infection. So, but again, so as I've introduced interferon alpha, so it has a lot of side effects, so involving different organs, so yan, psychiatric, endo, thyroid, cardiac. So that's why later on, so they recommend some of the oral agents for hepatitis C infection. So let's tackle first ribavirin. So this is a guanosine analog. So this interferes with the synthesis of guanosine triphosphate to inhibit capping of viral messenger RNA and to inhibit the viral RNA-dependent polymerase of certain viruses. So ribavirin, so absolute bioavailability is around 45 to 64%. So this is increases with high-fat meals and decreases with co-administration of antacids. So higher dose of ribavirin or a longer duration or both may be more efficacious than those with a lower likelihood of response to therapy. So samples those with genotype 1 or 4 or in those who have relapse. So adverse effects include dose-dependent hemolytic anemia. So this occurs around 20% of the patients, and some of the adverse effects will be depression, fatigue, irritability, rash, cough, insomnia, and pruritus. Okay, let's go to some of the inhibitors. So we have your polymerase. This is the life cycle. So the polymerase and then the protease inhibitors. So first is the polymerase inhibitors. So prototype is your sofosbuvir. So this is a nucleotide analog that inhibits the HCV-NS5B RNA-dependent RNA. So for this one, so it could be used for 1, 2, 3, 4 HCV genotype. Okay? So it is administered once daily with or without food and in combination with PEG interferon alpha and ribavirin. So if you will combine this peg interferon, ribavirin plus sofosbuvir. So the total duration of treatment is 12 to 24 weeks as long as the HCV has been suppressed. So sofosbuvir is a substrate of the drug transporter PGP. So this is an inducer in the intestine and should not be co-administered. So next, some of the prototypes of your protease inhibitors are your boceprevir, cimeprevir, and telaprevir. Okay, so these protease inhibitors, so they inhibit HCV replication directly by binding to the NSG4A protease that leaves the HCV-encoded polyprotein. So they can be an inhibitor and substrate of your CYP3A inhibitors. So for boceprevir, if administered with peg interferon and ribavirin, so it could be given for 4 weeks. But the duration of treatment is dependent, again, if you have suppressed your HCV virus. For cimeprevir, so again, so it is co-administered with the two, so peg and ribavirin, a total of 12 weeks in patients with compensated liver disease that are infected naman with HCV genotype 1. For telaprevir, so again, it is administered with peg and ribavirin for at least 12 weeks. For this one is for treatment in patients with HCV infections. So again, like your the previous antivirals, the duration of treatment is dependent until the undetectable virus is achieved. Okay, so this is the HCV genome. So this just show that some of the genotype, the specific genes that is and the enzymes that is inhibited. So NS3, ayan, NS5A, and then NS5B. So for the NS5B, so we have a non-nucleoside in the form of the sabuvir. So the NS5A, so we still have a lot of lists here. So anything ending with so basta yung mga previr, so those are your NS3,4A protease. So basta yun lang yung matandaan nyo kasi. So ending with previr is NS3,4A. So yung ASVIR is the NS5A inhibitors. And then for NS5B polymerase yung mga BUVIR. BUVIR. Okay, so this one, ayan, so this is example of the combo, okay? So, as you can see here, the genotype, so it is genotype dependent. So, may specific genotype, there's a specific regimen. Okay? So, although most of them cover for one, so there are some that we could use specifically, like your sofosbuvir for 2 and 3 lang, so for parentapir for 4. And then, there's an addition genotype, the 5-6. So that's why genotyping is very important to know if we're going to treat hepatitis C virus, because we could use a different combination to treat the chronic hep C. And this is for without cirrhosis. Okay, thank you. So let's have a questions muna.
May question? About hepatitis treatment. In clinical practice though, do you see many patients with fasting for hepatitis?
Sorry, Doctor.
Maraming patient na may hepatitis.
Yes, chronic hepatitis B, especially elderly,
Mm.
kasi before the introduction of the vaccination. So, usually, Doc, we see them already in cirrhosis, or yung mga nagpapa-annual exam. So, yeah. So, but in clinical practice, so there are still parameters. So, we have to complete the HEPA profile, and then we have to do liver ultrasound, test for the transaminases, and then the HBV DNA levels. And then there's criteria before we start the antivirals.
Kasi among pediatrics, syempre, we ask naman yung mother pag manganganak. So, positive for Hep B, but sometimes they do not receive any treatment. Yung mother, would you recommend?
Baka Doc, for the mother, siguro nung na-screen na sila, so when they do the test, if their liver, if patient doesn't have any liver abnormality, normal yung AST, ALT, and then the HBV DNA is not that high. So usually it's just observation,
So, monitoring.
monitoring.
Okay. But then,
If
syempre,
it's high risk though, like yan, mga HIV infections, so definitely treat kaagad.
Treat.
So may nirelease na yung WHO may mga certain populations that even they didn't meet the criteria, the AST, ALT, and the if may problems sa liver. If it's on the categorized as high risk, administer the antivirals.
okay. So, if the mother is positive, would you also treat the father? Kasi syempre,
Test muna daw.
Test muna.
So we should test the father first.
but then if the baby, so baby born to a hepatitis B mother, what would you give to the baby? If treat niyo pa siya, what would you give? You give vaccine. Okay, so at birth we give hepatitis B and hepatitis B immunoglobulin. Okay, so history taking, clerkship, maternal, tsaka lahat. Okay, thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Sige, 3-minute break. Bathroom break. Inantok kayo dun sa hepatitis. Viral, so for HIV, so there's a long list again of the antiretroviral, but I'll just be focusing more on the important and the available here and some of the side effects. Okay, so like Hep B, so hindi ko mawawala. So there's no treatment, there's no cure for HIV, but I think meron ng 2 patients na na-cure nila. So talagang nawala siya. So their studies are still ongoing on how to replicate that. For the meantime, so the treatment is to suppress the viral DNA. So the cornerstone for management of patients with HIV infection is combination of antiretroviral therapy or highly active antiretroviral therapy. So for now, so this is the term, yung CART, combined for the heart, high active antiretroviral therapy. So the combination, so this is used to prevent resistance. So like your anti-TB, di ba? Kaya in combo. But in the future, so they're gearing towards now of giving only one medication. So for compliance. Okay, so these are some of the classifications of ARV, the NRTIs, NNRTIs, the PIs, INSTIs, entry inhibitors, so protease inhibitor, integrase inhibitor, entry inhibitor. So, like your drugs for Hep C, so there are some clues to know so which are the classifications. So, all NRTIs end with bin, din, sin, except for tenofovir and abacavir. So I already introduced tenofovir as part of the hepatitis B. So, but still, it's part of the NRTIs. And then all NNRTIs have vir in the middle of their names. So efavirenz, rilpivirine, delavirdin, nevirapine. Okay? Before we use nevirapine, tapos napalitan ng efavirenz, and now bago na naman. So, but for historical purposes, so yeah, so the nevirapine, efavirenz are your NNRTI. So, all protease inhibitors, yung sabihin yung PI, so all protease inhibitors end with navir. So, ritonavir, lopinavir, atazanavir, darunavir. And integrase, so it's very easy, lahat ng mga may gravir. So, dolutegravir, valtegravir, and vitegravir. So other ARVs include Maraviroc. So wala na itong mga so mga prototypic to. Maraviroc is a CR5 inhibitors, Enfuvirtide is a fusion inhibitors, and ito bago, Ibalizumab. So this binds the CD4 receptor. Okay. So play ko na lang to for this video kasi shows the mechanism of action. Sige, dito na lang tayo. So this is the life cycle of HIV. So magsa-start siya here. So it will bind. So this virus will bind here. So after the binding, so ayan, magkakaroon ng fusion and uncoating. So, thus the RNA is produced. So, then what will happen here is the RNA, so there will be a reverse transcription. So, the RNA will be converted into DNA. So, and then, from that DNA, so doon sa nucleus, so there will be transcription again, and then it will produce RNA. And then that RNA will become a virion, so magkakaroon ng assembly, then the budding and the maturation, and then the release of your virus. Okay? So this is very important because every step, so there will be an interruption for that, para ma-interrupt yung life cycle niya. So for example, for this binding, so CCR5 receptor antagonist. And then, dun sa fusion and uncoating, this is the fusion inhibitors. So the reverse transcriptase, so this is very important. So this is blocked by your nucleoside receptors transcriptase or your NRTI or your NNRTI. So this is very integral to part na to. And then of course the integration, so to become nucleus, so this is blocked by your integrase inhibitors. And this one, so yung bonding and maturation, so this blocks by your protease inhibitors. Okay, so as mentioned here, so the recommended treatment for newly diagnosed HIV, for now kasi magbabago to soon, so is a combination ARV, so at least 3 drugs, okay, to prevent drug resistance. And kailangan ng dalawang NRTI as your backbone, or that will serve as your base. So, for example, so kapag sinabing NNRTI base, you will combine them with one NNRTI. So like for this one, tenofovir and acyclovir are your 2 NRTIs. So ang base niya will be an NRTI NNRTI rather, so that's efavirenz. Pag sinabing protease inhibitor base, so you have to add one protease inhibitor. So for this one, runavir and ritonavir plus tenofovir and emcitabine. And if it's integrase inhibitor base, so one integrase, so example, the dolutegravir, tenofovir plus emcitabine. Okay. So, when should ART start? So, as soon as you've diagnosed HIV. So, huwag na tayo maghintay na mag-stage 1, mag-AIDS. So, basta positive, give your HIV regardless of CD4 count. Okay? So, this is before. This sabi ko na 2016, parang efavirenz tayo. So, this is the available sa atin. So it's an NNRTI base. So kasi the efavirenz is the NNRTI base plus your Teno and your lamivudine. But the problem with efavirenz also, aside from resistance, so this is has a very severe CNS manifestation. So it could cause dizziness, vivid dreams. That's why they are taking this before bedtime. Okay, so, but now, since September 2021, so the DOH already converted to LTD, tawag namin dito, lamivudine, tenofovir, and dolutegravir. So this is an integrase inhibitor base na tayo. So this is the treatment for treatment-naive and treatment-experienced adolescents and adults living with HIV. So lesser side effects, so they can take it any day, unlike yung before na efavirenz. Okay, so this is the long list of your HIV, but I'll just highlight some of the unique things or need to know about each drug. So alam niyo na kung paano siya maklasify, di ba? So dosing, ano na lang yan, nice to know, but important is the aspect. First, abacavir. So abacavir highlighted here is, this is one of the ARVs that we need to test for HLB B507 allele. Because if you're positive with this one, this can cause fatal hypersensitivity reaction. So for atazanavir, so this is taken with food. So separate dosing, reducing agents, avoid concomitant antacids, and separate dosing acid reducing agents by more than 10 hours. Okay, sama ko na si Didanosine. I think I've mentioned this earlier with regards to ribavirin. So avoid concurrent neuropathic medications. So if given Didanosine, so especially for ribavirin. Okay, dolutegravir. So if you can see here, yung side effects lang niya would just be headache, some hypersensitivity reaction. And this is relatively safer drug. For efavirenz, this is what that I've mentioned. So very prominent neuropsychiatric symptoms, so hallucination, vivid dreams, dizziness, and could also cause headache and nausea. So envuvirtide, so this is a fusion inhibitor. So if you will take note of the administration, it's given subcutaneously. So that's why their injection site reactions are one of the side effects. So it can also cause hypersensitivity reactions. Okay, lamivudine, so generally safe, and this is also an anti-Hep B. So kung titignan nyo din, tenofovir and lamivudine are both Hep B. So it's part of the primary regimen. That's why if positive din sa hepatitis B infection, so covered na siya with the if there's a co-infection with HBV and HIV, so covered na siya with the LTD. Okay, nevirapine, this is historical because prior to the efavirenz, nevirapine yung ginagamit natin as part of the third drug, as part of the NNRTI base. But the problem with nevirapine is the rashes. So very notorious to cause rashes. So if you can see here, we have to dose escalate at initiation over 14 days. Hindi siya yung parang we'll give it right away, the full dose. So for nevirapine, so to avoid those rashes, so dose escalation is very important. And important to note also, it induces YP38, so it can decrease the level of nevirapine by this medication, so your rifampicin, rifabutine, but it can increase naman if given with fluco, ketoconazole, and clarithromycin. Okay, so for tenofovir, there are two forms here. We have alafenamide and disoproxil fumarate. Okay? For alafenamide, this is the for tenofovir disoproxil, so kung makikita nyo dito sa table, there's a side effects of renal toxicity. Okay? So this can cause the disoproxil form, so this can cause renal insufficiency. So that's why we have to, kasi di ba base natin is LTD, di ba? So Lamicteno and dolutegravir. So it's important to monitor the creatinine results or the kidney function because this is one of the side effects of tenofovir. If ever there's a renal insufficiency and you still want to give tenofovir, so you will give the alafenamide form. Okay, so this is safer sa kidneys, and if you can see here also, although it can increase creatinine, it is generally safer than disoproxil. So this is the alternative of tenofovir, disoproxil for acute kidney injury or renal insufficiency patient. And zidovudin, so this is also used way back before, but the problem with this one, kaya hindi na siya masyadong gusto, is the anemia. So macrocytic anemia, neutropenia. So these are some of the side effects of your zidovudin. Okay, some of the experimental agents. So first, fostemsavir. So this is the first in class CD4 attachment inhibitor. So active regardless of viral tropism without cross resistance. And then next is cabotegravir. This is a long-acting injectable integrase inhibitor. So ang maganda dito, if combined with rilpivirine, so the combination is administered once a month. Okay? I think meron ding i-release na once in every 6 months. So, yun yung goal kasi now with ARV. Because imagine taking 3 drugs a day. But I think those 3 drugs naman, they are in combo. But still, it's still a pill burden to take it every day. So, that's the problem also with HIV treatment. Kasi, mind you, the treatment for HIV, yung LTD, yung Lamicteno, dolutegravir, it's for free. Okay? So, kinukuha nila yan sa treatment hub. So, well, meron sa market, so, yung ayaw pumila, because, syempre, yung stigma, so, they will go to the clinic, kasi they will get the medications that is every 3 months. So of course, yung iba nahihiya. So yung iba, pumibili sila sa mga private, but the LPD is for free. So it's still a bill burden. That's why they are now experimenting, or they're trying to gear towards dun sa mga once a month, so every 6 months, so para yung compliance will be good. So yun din, di ba, yung Mounjaro, kung narinig yung Mounjaro, Ozempic, so in siya kasi aside from the effects na talaga, so the frequency kasi it's once a week. So yun yung medyo attractive sa mga patients. Okay, so that ends the antiretroviral. So any questions? Okay, if none, so last topic. Okay, anti-influenza agents. O, nalapit na. Medyo mas madali na to. Okay, so first, we have the neuraminidase inhibitors. So, oseltamivir. Sino nag-Tamiflu sa inyo? Maraming nagkakasakit ngayon. So, if you hear about Tamiflu, so that's the brand name for oseltamivir. So, neuraminidase inhibitor, so interferes with release of the progeny influenza virus from infected host cells, thus stopping the spread of infection within the respiratory tract. Nakalimutan ko nang sabihin. Sa HIV pala, so although I did not introduce in the, wala kasi siya. So, if you hear about the prophylaxis, post-exposure prophylaxis. So for example, kayo, bigla kayong na-break with HIV patient. So you need to take prophylaxis for HIV. But within 72 hours. Okay? So hindi nyo pwede pagpabukas yun. Kasi, so that's the golden period. So within 72 hours. Kasi past the 72 hours, magbabading na yan. So, once may naka-escape na virus, kahit isa or dalawa man dyan, it will replicate. And the prophylaxis is no longer effective. So in order for the prophylaxis to be effective, it should be taken within 72 hours. So yun yung golden period. Naalala ko lang kasi siya later on with the oseltamivir. So this competitively and reversibly interact with the active enzyme site to inhibit viral neuraminidase activity at low nanomolar concentrations. So ito. So activity against both influenza A and influenza B. So early administration is crucial because replication of influenza virus peaks at 24 to 72 hours after the onset of illness. So that's why this golden period is very important. If you really want to take oseltamivir or zanamivir, so the initiation of a 5-day course therapy, so ito din yung question kanina, how long? So for influenza, it's 5 days. Therapy within 48 hours after the onset of illness. So, pero hindi naman siya crucial kasi if you will not take it naman, so the benefits of taking oseltamivir and zanamivir is one, so decrease the duration of symptoms, viral shedding, and transmission. So, sa atin, so sa ating mga immunocompetent. But if we're talking about immunocompromised elderly, so complications naman. So, further complications such as bacterial pneumonia, asthma, hospitalization, and mortality. Okay, once daily prophylaxis is 70 to 90% effective in preventing disease after exposure. So oral to, but available in IV, but oral bioavailability is generally higher at 80%, and probenecid reduces renal clearance of oseltamivir. So adverse reaction, ayan, nausea, vomiting, headache. Taking oseltamivir with food does not interfere with absorption, but may decrease nausea and vomiting. So fatigue and diarrhea have also been reported and appear to be more common with those who are taking it as prophylaxis. Zanamivir naman, so unlike your Ocel, so this one is via inhalational tract. So inhale siya. So 10 to 20% of the active compound reaches the lungs. So concentration of the drug is in the respiratory is estimated to be 1,000 times the 50% inhibitory concentration. So it is also available in IV form. Of course, side effects, so pwede kayong ubuhin, cough, bronchospasm also, and reversible decrease in pulmonary function. That's why this is not recommended for patients who has underlying airway disease like your COPD or yung mga nagkakaroon ng bronchiectasis because of the possible spasm. Okay. Another new drug is the Baloxavir. So this is a first-in-class prodrug that is converted by hydrolysis to active Baloxavir. So this is a cap-dependent endonuclease inhibitor that interferes with RNA transcriptase. So it acts earlier than in the viral replication cycle than the oseltamivir. So the good thing about Baloxavir, it's a single-dose treatment. So it could be, and it should also be given within 48 hours on the onset. And of course, depending on the body weight, you could give 40 or 80 milligrams. So for Baloxavir, so this resulted to a 48 hours. So 24 to 48 hours compared with placebo, like your oseltamivir. Pero almost same lang sila in terms of alleviation of symptoms. It's just superior reduction in viral load at day 1 by 1 day by Baloxavir. So yun lang yung, well, aside from it's a single dose, so clinically they're just the same. So, but Baloxavir remains effective if oseltamivir is resistant with that. So, thus, vice versa, kapag Baloxavir resistant, oseltamivir is the drug of choice. Okay, amantadine and rimantadine, so these are tricyclic amines of the amantadine family that block the M2 proton ion channels of the viral particle and inhibit uncoating of the viral RNA within infected host cells, thus preventing its replication. Okay, so for amantadine and rimantadine, unlike Ocel and Zana and Balox, this is only active against A, influenza A. And of course, when we got within 1 to 2 days of after onset of illness, so reduction lang siya, 1 to 2 days. No longer recommended for the prevention or treatment of influenza because due to the high rates of resistance of H1N1 and H3N2 viruses. So amantadine is well absorbed, 67% protein bound excreted and changed in the urine, and this should be reduced for patients who are elderly and those with renal problem. So for rimantadine, it undergoes extensive metabolism by hydroxylation, conjugation, and glucuronidation, so before urinary excretion. Okay, other investigational agents include paramivir, Lanimivir, so octanoate, and DAS-181. Okay, other antiviral agents, so interferon, so already mentioned for HBV and HCV infection. This can also be used, especially the alpha-2B, and for the alpha-2B, the Hep D, chronic Hep D, alpha-N3 may be also used for the treatment of Condylomata acuminata. So ribavirin, so as part of the combination of HCV, and the aerosolized form can be used for RSV, bronchiolitis, and pneumonia to reduce severity and duration of illness. Palivizumab, so this is a humanized monoclonal antibody directed against epitope of the A antigen site of the F surface protein of RSV. So it is licensed for the prevention of RSV infections in high-risk infants and children. And then imiquimod, so this is an immune response modifier or modulator shown to be effective for the treatment of external genital and perianal warts. For COVID, so sama ko na to. So like the other virus, there's no cure for COVID-19, but management is purely supportive. And but there are medications to improve the outcome of COVID-19 patients. So for dexamethasone is not actually an antiviral. So this is to suppress the immune system kasi nagkakaroon ng cytokine storm. Remdesivir, so this is the antiviral. Tocilizumab also is to reduce the hyperinflammation. So these are some of the, pero yung first three na lang kasi wala na yung Casi tsaka Favipiravir. So Paxlovid, so if you heard of it, so this can be used for mild to moderate. Remdesivir also mild, moderate, severe, and Molnupiravir for the moderate. So this medication should not be given left and right. So usually they will be given only for those with risk factor for progression of illness to severe one. So yung mga elderly, COPD, diabetic, with those with serious heart condition. So generally ito yung parang treatment guidelines. So if not hospitalized, you don't have any risk factors, so basically supportive care. So but if you have a high risk of disease progression, so yan, in order of preference, so Paxlovid, Remdes, and then Molnupiravir. So but if you have a desaturation, so severe COVID, so add steroids, dexamethasone, plus Remdesivir, and some of the immunomodulators like Tocilizumab and Baricitinib. Okay, so monkeypox, ano ba yung mga bago ngayon? Monkeypox, no treatment, wala pang available treatment, but there are some investigational medications for monkeypox. Nipah, medyo nag-die down na rin yung Nipah. So, ang ginagamit sa Nipah, they are trying also Remdesivir. So, pero treatment still under investigations. I think that's all. So, any questions?
Thank you, Doc. So, ano, Doc, yung hand, foot, and mouth disease? Meron ba?
Saan, Doc?
Hand, foot, and mouth disease? Wala. Pero they develop a new vaccine for hand, foot, and
Yes.
mouth.
So, actually,
Kasi with the signs and symptoms, commonly mistaken with varicella. But when you check on the hand, foot, and mouth, the distribution would differ. Okay.
yeah. So, as mentioned, so yung ang sa virus kasi, so they are difficult to treat. So, rather, aside from doing antivirals, so they're focused more on the vaccination. Yan. So, hand and foot, so yan, sa Ebola, sa monkeypox, tsaka sa, yan. Sa Nipah, dinidevelop pa lang sa monkeypox, may vaccine na, but not available to all.
GE, wala treatment.
GE, wala, supportive, just vaccine
lang.
talaga.
Vaccine lang. Kasi there are cases eh. Diba? May question pa? Na-memorize din daw nila. Na-memorize nila. So, any tips on how to study antiviral? Kasi ang hirap nila i-memorize.
Just group them to illness and then yung classification of drug. So, kaya palito dun sa mga, dapat alam niyo yung classification of drug. So, kasi if yung indication is just one eh, parang halimbawa, acyclovir, ay sa halimbawa, herpes. So, alam na natin yung indication is. It's just a matter of how we're going to classify, so some of the side effects.
So, wala na? Question? So, wala na. Thank you, Dr. Masbam, for a very comprehensive lecture. Next Tuesday, we'll have the last lecture for the midterms, anti-helmintic